How's the lighting? What? See, now my face is too dark, right?
Yeah.
Wait, let me see. Wait, what? I'm kidding. No, I'm just kidding. My name is Ed Ratcliffe. I'm from the United Kingdom. I am 24 years old, and the first time I ever went to camp I was 19, so I was a completely different person back then. At the time, I was not in a good place. I was hanging around with the wrong people, getting into silly situations. It was actually my mother who said, "You're going to America and you're going to do a summer camp, you've got to do something different." And I'd heard about this place through a friend, and I applied for it, and yeah, so my first summer was in 2013, so that was 5 years ago now. I basically, I finished school and I didn't get the grades I needed to go to university, so for the year after that, 6 to 9 months after that, I was hanging around with people in my area that just weren't good. My priority for that year was basically, you know, just messing around. And what I really did learn before I got to camp was, you know, if I'm surrounding myself with these people, if I'm becoming part of this environment, I am going to become part of this environment. So it wasn't until I went to camp I was aware of how easily influenced I was by a lot of these people, and was following on, you know, like a sheep and doing everything that they were doing. And it wasn't until camp that made me realise that I could use my influence for positive purposes rather than detrimental purposes. Some of the most memorable people were the ones that just sort of that didn't take me for face value and didn't judge me on what they'd heard or what they thought about me. So, you know, some of my closest friends now, like Christopher Ashcroft and Jake Haskell, and these people, they gave me the time of day. And the reason why I got on so well with these people is because they expected the best from me, and they anticipated that I would be great, even though I didn't realise that I could be great. They were constantly pushing to get the best out of an individual, even before me realising what I had to offer. So it was these guys that actually pointed out the things that I was good at and made me realise and understand what I was good at. And without those people, you know, I would be a completely different person. I wouldn't have understood what I can bring to the table and where my strengths lie. I'll give you an example. One day, I think it was about 2 or 3 weeks into camp, we didn't really have a massive amount of communication with the camp director because he was so busy and whatever. But one of the head counsellors came up to me after about 3 weeks, and the only thing he said was, "He's like, you're Ed, aren't you?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Just want to let you know that you're doing a fantastic job." And then he walked off, and that was it. And it was just a massive weight lifted off my shoulders to get confirmation from someone that I respected, from not just a higher level in the camp, but, you know, a fellow Brit, for example, and someone who I respected, to just come up to me and give me that affirmation that I was actually doing a good job. And that taught me, you know, the value of letting people know what you think about them, you know, if they're doing good stuff or if they're doing bad things. And there was an enormous weight lifted off my shoulders to get that confirmation from that individual was epic. There were aspects of these counsellors that I absolutely loved, and I saw the effect that it had on other people. I saw the way they made other people feel good, and I wanted to do that. I wanted to make people feel good. So I saw, you know, great personality traits, and I thought, you know, that I'm going to have that. But because it was such an eclectic mix of different individuals, there, you know, we had South Africans, we had New Zealanders, we had Australians, we had Americans, we had Brits, we had French. You know, it was just a massive mix of different people, and to see what their values were from their cultures and all the good bits of their cultures all mushed together in one place. You can sort of pick and choose. As a young person, you still have the opportunity to decide what you want to become. So I just believe that I'm an amalgamation of all the best traits that I see in people and want to continue those. And I love that, you know, I love how this person makes somebody else feel. I want to do that, and I want to reciprocate that, and I'm just going to copy that, because I think if it makes me feel good, then it's going to make other people feel good as well. Before I got to camp, I didn't really have any experience with looking after children, and so I had absolutely no idea what to expect. But when the campers got there, everything changed, and I followed the mentality of, these are just little people. They are just small human beings like adults, but only smaller. So I treated them all with exactly the same amount of respect as I would have expected to have been treated. So I started with a very high level of respect for the kids, and that reciprocated, and subsequently the relationships were just fantastic, absolutely mesmerizing. And an example I can give is I'll never forget the first conversation I had with the camper, and I'm seeing him today actually. That's why I'm in New York, and we just spoke about astronomy for like an hour. He just sat on the bed, and I asked him what his hobbies were, and he was so passionate about space and science, and he wanted to be an astronaut, and it was just refreshing to see this little bundle of energy and enthusiasm. So I'm in sales currently, and I think camp has definitely influenced the direction into which my career has gone to. After the first year of camp, I realized I definitely wanted to do it again. And after much deliberation, it was for the people, it was for the campers, it was for the counsellors, it was for the experience. And those social interactions are what pushed me towards going into sales. So now I'm working at a technology company, but my advantages and strengths and attributes lie around what I can do in the office and bringing people up, making people realise how much they're worth, creating a positive working environment. Being able to walk into a room and cheering people up is definitely something that I got from camp. I would not be able to have the amount of positive relationships that I have now without camp, without a doubt.